Hey everybody, David Lewis here with AW Papers. You know, we've had a lot of questions about this 11.8 by 19 sheet size, and can you print that with either the OKI 8432 or the iColor 600? So I wanted to do something today to show you that you can. Look, first of all, let me start by just sort of going over the sizes of the sheets of the LaserDark media that are available. So this size here is the 8.5 by 11 size. So 8.5 wide, 11 inches tall. Next size is this one. This is the 8.5 width. It's 17 inches long. So 8.5 by 17. So we're not 14, 17. 8.5 by 17. Then the next size up from that is this one, which is the 11 by 17. 11 by 17. And then let me back up to get this really huge sheet in here. This is the 11.8 by 19. 11.8 by 19 size. All right, so we wanted to really get a measurement of how big this would go, what's the full print width, what's the full printable area, and to show an example of it. So let's show you what we did. So we've created this design and we've loaded it up into the transfer rip. And the first thing that we wanted to do is use the layout tool so that we create a specific page that's the 11.8 by 19 size. And then we load our design to put onto that page. We used the layout tool because we specifically wanted to make sure that, that we're measuring the full printable area. So we created it 11.8 by 19 here. That's the empty page. Then we drop our artwork onto that. It's 11.8 by 19. So we drop that in and it fully fills the sheet entirely. So now once we've got that in there, we output that back to the rip to our white toner print mode. And then once we've done that, it loads up here. Now, if you look down in the bottom left corner, you see 11.8 by 19. So here's our print sample. Now, we want to control the amount of white that's going down on this. You can see there's some of these extra lines around. So we want to use the underfilling option so that we're pulling those back. In this case, I think about 3 pixels is probably a good idea. And then, of course, we typically always use the preserve partial transparency so that we're not putting white under that. So this is screening from printer. We're not going to do any special rasterization for this. We're using the full width of the printer. So we're using every bit of the printer that we can. So we set the offsets all back to 0. And so now we're ready to send this to the printer. Multi-purpose tray with transparency. So here's the print. This is when we printed this just a few minutes ago, so we'd have everything ready for you to see. Our sheet's a little bit scratched up there, but you can see it fits in there. So those guides to the side are spread as far apart as they will go. And then the 11.8 by 19 inch sheet running through the printer. And then those black bars will give us the, we can use that to tell what's the printable area, because you remember in the design, they run edge to edge. So let's get our ruler and see what that measurement comes out to be. So remember, 11.8 is the sheet size. And so if we look at this, we're 11 and 3/8. So this is just slightly under 11 and 3/8 for the width. So 11 and 3/8 inch is the printable width for this. All right. Now the full length on this, again, 19 inch sheet. So 19 inches is our sheet size, and the width, the length is 18 and 5/8. So 18 and 5/8 is the printable length. So 11 and 3/8 by 18 and 5/8. That's our imageable area on that size of sheet. All right. So now we're marrying that. Oh, and you know, you'll notice this. So this is a 16 by 20 heat press, and you can see this sheet fills it up. So I mean, you really sort of get the context for what you're working with. You can see that sheet's about all you can put on that kind of a heat press. You know, those printers can actually go a 52-inch length. But this is all you can get into a heat press, or most heat presses. And you know, in the LaserDark media, the B sheet's always slightly smaller than the A sheet. So literally, the size, the printable size, is pretty much edge to edge on that B sheet. So even if we did go edge to edge on the A sheet, we don't have a B sheet big enough to really work with it. So you know, because it's always a little bit smaller. And then you also need a little bit so you can get your fingers in there to peel this. So here we're peeling it. Now, when we're peeling this, you know, you're peeling a huge size design. So you want to peel this really carefully, and as you get towards the end, especially, because by the time you've peeled this much space, things have really started cooling down. So you want to really be careful and slow down at the very end, so that, you know, that you're not accidentally pulling away any of the toner once you've finished with it. All right. So beautiful, full size, huge design. All right. So here's our, you know, we've cut this up. So here's our piece that we're going to put on, and I'm using one of these pads, these Teflon pillows. So I want to take this Teflon pillow, and I want to put that in so that we can press this onto the shirt. So our design is set up as a sleeve. So here's our garment, and you know, I want it to go right on this seam that's on this sleeve. So I'm using this pillow to help me fit this in where I want it to go. And the first thing I want to do is get a sense of what my pressure is going to be, so that I've got high pressure in the pressing part. I want to press it and get any wrinkles out of it, and then I want to place my huge long sleeve design here. And this is also where these big pressing sheets come into play. So this is an 18 by 24 pressing sheet. So it's 18 inches wide, so it fully covers the full width of the press, and it's 24 inches long. So it hangs off the end just nicely for us, or 22 inches long, sorry, 22 inches long. So we've got full coverage on our heat press when we're pressing this. And we're going to press this high pressure for about 30 seconds. After we've done that, then I'm going to put the name tag on the front. All right, so there's our 30 seconds to apply our sleeve in our garment here. And I'm going to pull our pad out that we've used, and I'm going to put it back down now. And straighten it all out. These pads are the same pads that are in the special offer for the group. So it's another little thing that makes this, you know, an attractive offering. Includes a full set of these. All right, so now I want to position my little name tag here. And I'm going to, actually, what I want to do is I want to put his name right up above the logo there, like that. All right, and then cover it again and turn my pressure high and apply that. So the idea is, you know, with this huge size, in this particular case, you know, I'm getting several shirts out of one sheet. So it's doing a design that, you know, you couldn't do otherwise, really, because the, you know, in one piece at least, because of the length of it, just as an example. All right, so now we'll bring it over to our peeling table. And what I want to do is I want to cool off the sleeve real good to start with, like this. We'll use our little cooling tool here to cool that down nicely. And we're always peeling these off with a nice tight roll like this. So we're shearing it away so we make sure we get the best results with that. All right, looks beautiful. Okay, and then we'll next do the name tag here. Cool that off real good, and then peel away that. Actually, this one's underneath that one, so I'm going to do this one first. Again, a nice tight roll to roll that away. All right, looks good. And then now the same thing for the name. Nice tight roll with that. All right, so there's our name. Now we come back over to our main heat press cam here, and we're going to do the finishing press with this. So I want to put the sleeve back in. Like this. Put our parchment sheet over it. And we're pressing this at high pressure to really press it into the shirt. And then I'm going to grab one more thing to use with this. All right. So that's pressed down nicely into the shirt. So now we do the same thing with the front. And then I'm going to add just a little bit of bling to this one. All right. So, got some hot stamping foil here. Let's add just a little bit of bling on this one. And this got it taped up real good here. So I'm going to cut out a piece of that. All right, so here's my hot stamping foil, and I want to put that right on just the name, right there, just like that. And then cover this up with my parchment sheet, holding that down into place, checking it. I can kind of see that's good. Again, high pressure for another 20, 30 seconds. All right, and so now we take off our parchment sheet and we bring it back over to our peeling table over here where we can cool this off real nice. Get this nicely cooled off. And there we go. Now there's Jack. All right, so here we are. So here we've got Jack's metallic. Look at that, beautiful. That nice sleeve result in this. Look at that. That looks nice. It's cool. So 11.8 by 19 sheet size really opens these printers up to some huge size prints. Thanks. Bye.